Emotional celebrations I think I've seen in the 11 years that I've been on the circuit following you guys around was the way you got involved with the crowd at the end of the UK last month. That was a really nice moment for those of us who work on the circuit to see. It just looked so spontaneous, like you would imagine that's what you would have done when you were 16 when you won the 74 matches in Blackpool. It was really nice, that.
Yeah, I think like you go back to that thing, you know, that sometimes, you know, you're given the trophy and you're separated from the crowd, but as far as I'm concerned, you know, over the years, so many people have come and supported snooker, myself and whoever it is, and I just thought, you know, it's their moment to kind of, for you to go into they can't come to me. So I thought, well, I can go to them, you know, so I should do that, you know, and I'm not saying we do that every time, but it's just their moment to get their selfie, to touch the trophy, and you know, and just to show that, you know, we're not, there's not this divide, you know. We are just all human beings, and you know, why not share it with the fans, you know?
It was a tremendous achievement in terms of, you know, winning it as a kid at 17, and then 25 years later, that win kind of has underlined your longevity.
I kind of wish I'd have had Stephen Hendry's career, to be honest with you know, because longevity. It means you know, if you look at the list of tournaments, you know, you look at the World Championship list, you see Hendry wins it 6 times on the trot, the Masters 5 times on the trot, the UK maybe 3 or 4 times on the trot. I'd rather have done it like that. You know, it just shows that I've kind of been a bit in and out, if you like, and I've had to work at my game. I've kind of not been the best at any one thing, and I've never been the best putter, I've never been the best break builder, I've never been the best safety player, but I've had to work to kind of get as good as I can in all departments and, you know, try and become a more complete player. You know, I don't have that big A-maker, if you like, which can just blow someone out the water. It's just more, you know, just keeping everything as good as I can in each area, and that gives me a chance sometimes.
But that's why your career's been so interesting to follow, because, as you said, there have been a couple of years, you know, gaps between world titles. You've had to work sometimes to get back to the top, and people have enjoyed following that journey.
Yeah, like I said, I'd much rather have been like Hendry, where I was just, my scoring power and my putting was so good that it was just irrelevant of what the opponent done, you know. They were just a passenger most of the time, you know. So for me, him and Davis, you know, done that better than anybody. We're so much closer now, the top 5, 8 players, if you like, than when Hendry was around, you know. He was so much better than everybody else that, you know, he could just, like, he used to say, you know, like, make sure you bring my dinner jacket up before the World Championships had started, to his wife, you know, and you think, I could never say that, you know, I'm just happy to get through the first round and take it from there, you know. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's a different perspective, really, on how we play our sport, you know. Different
eras, different great champions. I wonder, though, right at the top of the pile surely has got to be coming back from that year off and then defending the world title.
Yeah, that's probably my best achievement, really, when I think about it, you know, because 2012 I played really well, but 2013 obviously not playing a match at all, you know, and I only had 6 weeks practice before the tournament, so I hadn't played snooker for like 40 weeks, you know. So that was kind of like an unbelievable achievement, really, and, you know, I got stronger as each match went on, and yeah, no, it's pretty cool thing to do, really.
That's an understatement. Looking at kind of your camp from the outside, it seems to me that someone who's so important, because he seems really genuine and he's in your life for all the right reasons, is Damien. Because there's someone who doesn't need any money from you, he doesn't need any associated fame. When he comes and hangs out with you, he's hanging out with you because he's your mate. He doesn't need anything from you. And I wonder how refreshing that is for you, to have somebody who you know unequivocally, years after all this has stopped, and there aren't the headlines, and there aren't 5,000 people chanting your name, he's still going to be there for you, and that's the mark of a true friendship, isn't it?
Yeah, totally, yeah. I'm so lucky, you know, to have Damien there as a friend, you know, first and foremost, you know, irrelevant of whatever's gone on in my life, you know. He's just like unbelievable, really, and he's just the best company, makes me laugh, but, you know, he knows it's a serious business, and he got a way of getting through to me without, you know, a lot of people go, oh, you got to win this, you got to win that. Damien, you know, knows winning's important, but he goes a different way about it. You know, he knows how tough it is out there, and he gets it. You know, I've never met anyone that gets it like he gets it, apart from Steve Peters, in a different kind of way. You know, it's great that I've got someone like that loves the game, and, you know, and I love the game, and I can talk to someone, and, you know, it's great, you know.
I wonder how much of a difference it would have made in those early years if you'd have had a steadying influence like Damien back then.
It happens when it happens, you know. Your paths collide whenever they were supposed to collide, you know. And you know, I think it was the right time, you know, right time in his life, right time in my life. You know, maybe if we'd have met 10 years before we did, it'd have been a different type of relationship.
Yeah, good point.
And, you know, so, you know, we're kind of matured out, if you like, a little bit now. And, you know, we just know that really most of the stuff that people go on about is not that important, but they think it's important, but we just laugh at it. And, you know, and that's what's really nice, you know, we just sit down and, you know, you know, you lot of think, oh, you must go, you go there. We just sit in the hotel room and we just have a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Are you quite good at relaxing when you're home? Because ages ago, I think it was before 13, I came and did a piece with you in Essex, and I hadn't realised quite how green and lush Essex is. We went for a run in that forest. Do you still do things like that? Do you still go and have your solitude? No one's going to bother you and take a selfie. Are you quite good at chilling out and giving yourself some mental breathing space from the tour and from life?
I'm not really a big socialiser, you know. I'm not like I'm not one that goes into a room and you know, chit-chatting. I'll hide in the corner and just sort of get my cup of tea and stick with someone that's a bit like me. So my whole life's a bit like that, you know. The running club that I go to, it's bang in the middle of the forest. I go and do my run, and then I go in there, have my shower, and then next door there's like a little tea facility, and I just sit there on my own for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and I just have that tea, and it's like my church.
And the other good thing about runners is, yes, they would respect what you've done, but when you're out for a 6 miler, they're not there because they want to be close to you. They're there because they enjoy running, and they're quite happy that you're there as a runner. They're not interested in how many centuries you've got and any of that stuff. They're hanging out with you for all the right reasons. They're there because you like a run.
And only one runner like yourself would know that, you know. A lot of people go, oh, the running, but really it's more the social side of it, that, you know, runners are just into, you know, what's the next race and just getting that running high, if you like, you know. And unless you've had it, you don't know what that feeling's like. So, you know, I'm not as fit or as I used to be, but I still try to do some sort of running because I know it's, you know, it adds all the other positive stuff that you've just mentioned, you know. And just having them people in my life, you know, like having Damien, it's also important for me to have my running mates in my life, you know, because, you know, they are as simple as they get. And I don't mean that in a horrible way, I just mean it that they're happy with a run, a cup of tea, and a jam donut at the end of a race. You know, I've never seen, you see them, you know, they're just happy as you like. You know, I'm not into these high maintenance people, you know, that want to have the nice cars and they go to Dubai on holiday. I couldn't think of anything worse, to be honest with you. You know, good luck to the people that do it, and I'm not knocking it, but, you know, I'm much more happier, you know, over the forest. You know, even if I'm not racing, I enjoy watching the races as well, you know. It's a fantastic scene to be involved in, if you like.
It's all good. You've got a great balance. Can you see a finish line to snooker? Or are you quite happy with the way things are at the moment and you'll just take it year on year and you'll finish when you see fit?
I'm quite looking forward to the finish line, and, you know, if it had finished 8 years ago, I'd have been happy, but it's gone on and a little bit longer than I ever thought. So, you know, for me, it's just every tournament's a bonus, every year's a bonus. When it gets to the point where I think, you know, I'm not getting much out of it maybe, then I would then say then that's the time to go. It doesn't matter if there is anything after snooker. I'd probably go and live on my boat somewhere and just cook and chill and, yeah, lead a simple life really. And maybe become a running coach. That might be something I'd get a lot of satisfaction out of, you know. Yeah, something like that maybe.
For however much longer it lasts, we'll enjoy watching, and it's just good to see you in a happy place, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Lovely, cheers, Rob.
That would be a 20th major title. That's Roger Federer territory, isn't it? But not only that, no one has ever won one of the 3 Triple Crown majors 8 times. Ronnie has got the UK and the Masters 7 times, and of course Stephen Hendry's 7 world titles. So he's reaching out for yet another milestone along the way, isn't he?
Yeah, and if he decides to continue to play and makes it a mission to play until he's at least 50 years old, I could see him winning this 10 times. It's the type of tournament that suits him. You know, the World Championship arguably doesn't suit him over a period of time, although I don't think that's necessarily the case anymore. But, you know, patience of the 2 weeks is tough. But I think as he's got older, he has matured as a player. And for me, like, you're looking at where the next player is going to come from to supersede his level. there are great players around, but how can you get better? It's tough.
Well, it's interesting because he is obviously having to set goals for himself, and albeit that he doesn't talk greatly about it during a championship, quite rightly, he will himself be aware that there are one or two things that he's not done in the game, and he's not done what you and two others have done actually, and that's do the Grand Slam, the Triple Crown Grand Slam, all 3 majors in one season. He's not even done it in a calendar year either. So there you go, Steve, you did it in, where we are, yeah, it's 87-88. Stephen's done it twice, and the last man to do it was Mark Williams, 2002-2003. The consistency required to do that over a season is extraordinary, surely.
Yeah, and actually the application to keep on the job for the whole season is something that arguably he hasn't had. But I think the way he does it now, he identifies tournaments he wants to play. The only player that's really truly doing that successfully, and then all of a sudden, and he's producing as well.
You can't play in all of them and play as well as he's doing. You've got to pick and choose, and especially, he's in the business end of every event he's playing in. So he's playing those matches, and all the ones he's playing harder opponents near the end of those as well. So he's picking and choosing very wisely. But his highest break today is 75, but he's been harder to play today than he's been all week.
Amazing, isn't it? And this is only his 6th event of the season. He's already won 3 titles, been a runner-up in 1, and looks like he's on his way to yet another final. It's an amazing strike rate, isn't it? But we know that Ding Junhui has been waiting, fully 8 years to add to his collection of major titles. He's got 3. The last one was in 2011. But we only just need to think back a month to Ronnie's 19th, his record-breaking 7th UK title in York. Now, we witnessed emotion and scenes the like of which we've never, ever seen from Ronnie there. He was really, really up for it, really emotional at the end with those Pat Cash style celebrations in the crowd at the Barbican Centre, and he's been reflecting on that and a whole lot more besides with Rob Walker in the big interview.